Cut deductible. For left base 2. On y va beaucoup. Très légèrement. Serre à gauche. éclate. Non! Stop! Stop! Stop!
Hi everybody, welcome to my kitchen. I'm Norman Heath, the executive chef of the Radisson Blue Hotel Waterfront. Today I'm going to share one of our best sellers of our restaurant, which is a seared tuna dish. Very simple for you to make at home. You're going to need 500 grams of tuna loin, 20 grams of Cajun spice, 20 grams of sesame seeds white, half a cucumber cut into strips or julienne, 20 grams of edamame beans, some salt for seasoning, pickled ginger, Kewpie mayo, ponzu, and some olive oil for cooking. So the first thing we're going to do is take the tuna. We're going to take the Cajun spice, and we're going to take half of the sesame seeds that we've weighed off. So we're going to take about 10 grams of that and mix it into the Cajun spice. We're going to take the tuna and we're going to just lightly coat it. As you can see, that's got a lovely coating to it. I'm going to take the other piece, do exactly the same. You don't need too much olive oil, in a non-stick pan would be perfect. So just a little bit. So now the pan is nice and hot. We're just going to lightly sear it on each side for about 30 seconds on a side. All we're doing is just a high temperature. We want to get golden brown at the outside and nice and crispy, but we don't want to cook the inside. We want to keep that nice medium rare and to get your nice pink color. Other half of the sesame seeds and nicely toast them in a little pan. And we want to, from a cold pan, heat it up. We don't want a hot pan, otherwise it will burn. So it's a light toast that we want to use. Now we're going to place the tuna aside to rest. We're going to place it back into the bowl. We'll get back to that at a later stage. Same pan, we're just going to take the edamame beans, just lightly coated with olive oil and a little bit of salt, just to warm it up through. The tuna with a nice sharp knife. Japanese mayo. You see have a look at the color of that. Beautiful. Now for the lovely fresh cucumber strips. We're going to take these lovely edamame beans that we had earlier and just give them a sprinkle over the salad. Some fresh pickled ginger. The toasted sesame seeds for the bit of nuttiness and crunch. And then lastly we'll dress it with a ponzu, and that acts as a dressing, which is a citrus salty flavor. Thank you for joining me. I think let's get the kids and let's see what they think about this dish. The ones that are really honest are the children. They're lekker.
What I tend to look for when I go to places are things that are visually appealing. When you walk down the sand dunes here in St. Lucia, just thinking of the old shipwrecks or the explorers, the first thing they saw was these long beaches and impenetrable forest. They still look exactly the same. I can't imagine there are many places in the world where you can see tons of things in one day. I want to pinch my arm and say, this can't be true. I'm in the middle of this. I think the uniqueness is that it's diverse. You could peel off layer after layer and you'll find more and more things. It's all here for you to just be part of.
March 7th, 1965. A bloody Sunday for America's civil rights movement in Selma, Alabama. That's where state troopers and a sheriff's posse attack civil rights marchers pushing to register black voters. The violence leads to 2 more high-profile marches and later the passage of the Voting Rights Act. 1936. Nazi Germany's dictator, Adolf Hitler, sends troops into his country's demilitarized Rhineland region. The move violates the treaty ending World War I and brings Europe a step closer to a Second World War just years later. And 1999.
I know that you and Frank were planning to disconnect me, and I'm afraid that's something I cannot allow to happen.
Movie director Stanley Kubrick, whose films include 2001, A Clockwork Orange, and Full Metal Jacket, dies at age 70. The year before his death, he told the Associated Press that despite the heartache, there's nothing like making movies.
Although it can be like trying to write War and Peace in a bumper car in an amusement park, when you finally get it right, there are not many joys in life that can equal the feeling.
Today in history, March 7th, Sandy Kozel, The Associated Press.
Welcome back in our studio, and in today's news,